Hello, everyone. First of all, I just want to say apologies to all of you that usually, you know, stay on this my channel to get the news as it is. This is a news that broke yesterday. Unfortunately, I was so busy, I didn't get to see it on time. But hey, better late than never. So this is it. The U.S. court have ordered that the records of Bola Ahmed Tinubu be released to the public. So this is a David. I think David Hudeya, is it Alan Greenspan? I think that's the name. Had gone to court demanding for Freedom of Information Act on Bola Ahmed Tinubu's records with the FBI, that it should be made public. They actually wanted this to be done, I think, from around 2022, but most especially before the either the swearing in or the final judgment of the 2023 presidential election tribunal. But it didn't come out. It's now that it's coming out, but then it has come out, and kudos to him for staying on and refusing to give up and spending of his time, resources, and everything to get to get this particular judgment out. U.S. The Sahara Reporters reporting U.S. court orders FBI DEA to release investigative files on Tinubu over 1990s drug probe. According to the Premium Times, Judge Barry Howell of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia handed out the order on Tuesday, rejecting the government agency's attempt to withhold the document under the so-called global response, a policy allowing agencies to refuse to confirm or deny the existence of records. A U.S. federal judge has ordered the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI) and the Drug Enforcement Administration. The thing is it's just so. How would we even be respected that it is someone who is occupying the office of the president in Nigeria that they are talking about drug in relation with FBI file, drug file, and all of that here? Okay, to release investigative records relating to Nigerian president, not my president, absolutely not, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, stemming from a purported narcotics trafficking investigation in the 1990s. According to Premium Times, Judge Beryl Howard of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia handed down the judgment on Tuesday, rejecting, I think I've read that, but I don't know why Sarah reporters just like repeating the same thing. They claim that the global response were necessary to protect the information from public disclosure. Is the point neither is at this point neither logical nor plausible, Judge Howell ruled, affirming that both FBI and DEA failed to justify their refusal under the Freedom of Information Act. The case was initiated by Aaron Greenspan, an American transparency advocate and founder of Plainside.org, who filed the lawsuit in June 2023 after submitting 12 FOIA requests to various U.S. law enforcement and intelligence agencies. These requests sought details of a federal investigation into heroin trafficking network allegedly involving Tinubu and others, including Abiodun Agbele, Muiz Akande, and Lee Andrew Edwards. Greenspan's Freedom of Information Act requests were earlier denied by the FBI, DEA, Internal Revenue Services, IRS, Department of State Executive Office for U.S. Attorney, and Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, all of which invoked global responses. In his lawsuit, Greenspan argued that the agencies had improperly withheld information of significant public interest. He also cited a verified complaint filed by the U.S. Department of Justice in 1993 seeking the forfeiture of $460,000 in funds linked to Bola Tinubu, which the U.S. government alleged were proceeds of drug trafficking. The court documents include an affidavit by Kevin Moss, a special agent with the IRS at the time, who detailed the activities of the heroin ring operating in the Chicago area. The affidavit indicated that Tinubu was being investigated in connection with financial transactions that allegedly laundered proceeds from narcotics trafficking. There is probably cause to believe that funds in certain bank accounts controlled by Bola Tinubu were involved in financial transactions in violation of U.S. laws and represent proceeds of drug trafficking, more stated in a sworn affidavit. The same affidavit tied Tinubu to Muiz Akande and Abiodun Agbele, noting that Agbele, arrested after selling white heroin to an undercover DEA agent, cooperated with investigators and revealed further links within the network. In response to the FOIA lawsuit, President Tinubu, definitely not my president, is a legitimate president of Nigeria, intervened in October 2023, citing privacy concerns and objecting to the release of confidential tax records and documents from federal law enforcement agencies. However, Judge Howard ruled that the public interest in understanding the records surrounding Tinubu's alleged involvement outweighed the privacy interest claimed by Tinubu. The public interest in learning about the sitting president's possible connection to a major drug investigation is undeniably significant, the judge wrote. Although the CIA successfully defended its global response, with the court ruling that Greenspan failed to show that the agency had officially acknowledged the existence or non-existence of responsive records, the judge ordered all other agencies, excluding the CIA, to jointly file a report by May 2nd on status of outstanding issues in the case. Legal analysts say the ruling could force the release of sensitive documents that have long been the subject of speculation and political controversy in Nigeria. The forfeiture of the 460,000 in 1993 surfaced during the 2023 Nigerian presidential election as opponents of Tinubu questioned his eligibility. However, Nigeria's election tribunal ultimately dismissed those challenges. Reacting to the U.S. court's decision, Greenspan said in a statement, "Transparency must prevail over secrecy when it comes to public officials. The American public, as well as the Nigerians, deserve to know the truth." And then Sahara reporters went on to do a background. I'm not going to look at the background, but hey, this is how low Nigeria we've really come. We are really at where, someone who is supposed to be occupying an office that should be prestigious and should be one who, when they're talking about character, it should be up there, integrity should be up there. Not this one that you're talking about, criminal records. It's unbelievable that this is where Nigeria has descended to. But we'll see what comes out. We are waiting to see these records and what are in the records and what's there. And there's a particular tweet I saw earlier on someone did. It was so funny just reading that. One of the psychophants, of government. This particular person has been defending APC since I knew, because it's always on my timeline. One of those that come attack and go and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, this thing will not matter. The way he put it, that it will not remove Tinubu from office, that Tinubu will still go on to win 2027 election, that Atiku and Mr. Peter Obi will not win the 2027 election, and that, what did he say again? There was the way he ended it. It was so funny because he didn't realize that what that meant. And then he said, oh, Nigerians are grappling with real issues. It will not reduce the cost of this in the market. Nigerians are grappling with real issues. I'm like, okay. So Nigerians are grappling with issues, and the failure, who rigged the election, who is there, is the one causing this thing. But yet you cannot connect it, or you can connect it but you refuse to connect it. Psychopathy is indeed a disease.